Hey, how you guys doing? So we're gonna go over the 7th episode for season 3 for Love Live Superstar, this one being called to defeat Liella. So of course in the last episode we had Cuckoo and they were in Shanghai and they did the Shanghai FES, where we eventually got that Cuckoo decided that she will actually pursue her dreams and continue being idle instead of going to Beijing and study college. So that we have that concluded. And now Cuckoo's arc seems to be over. Now we're going to go back to where the girls are at school. So of course, if you want to watch this, go to Crunchyroll, that's the main official source. So for this episode, a bunch of the girls are thinking about the Shanghai performance and how great it was, including even Wien. She's watching some videos of her performance during that time, and she's wondering, what was I feeling then? Hope? Happiness? But she also sees Tomari is doing some of the choreography from that dance as well by herself. So Wen's like, well, what the heck are you doing here? Aren't you doing the dance? Are you potentially feeling influenced by that? But Tomari's like, no, just mental training. I would never do something silly as that. So Wen's like, huh. So she hasn't changed one bit. It's kind of rich coming from Yen, who hasn't changed that much either. But as she was saying that, we have the other second years coming in, and they're so happy to see Wien, and especially since they had all that fun with her during Shanghai. And then May's like, well, she hasn't changed one bit at all. And that's exactly what I was saying, May. We get to see that Wien hasn't changed a lot. So we go to the room where all the girls are, and Cuckoo's really excited as now Love Live is just around the corner. And she's really excited, but she's wondering, why is no one else excited? But May's excited, so Cuckoo's like, yeah, and she's just beating her drum, literally and figuratively. But Ren's like, alright, so this is going to be our final Love Live, so they definitely got to go out with a bang. And she get to see that some of the girls definitely showed some excitement, and we have Kinoko getting all fired up, which this is probably the biggest scene she had so far in the season. So we'll have to see if she plays a bigger role. But one thing she noticed is that she asks, well, Kinoko, can you count the amount of people in the room here? And there's 8. And then she realizes, wait a minute, Liella is only at 8 instead of 11. We need the Liella girls to join us. So she just tells them that the 2 leaders went and met with the headmistress, and they're talking about the fact that they're 2 separate groups, and how are they going to perform? They can only send 1 group per school. So it looks like they will have to have a competition then and decide who will go over the other. And of course, a lot of people expressed that the fact that they would just rather have them join together and perform as 1 group. But instead, since they are adamant on being separate, they will have to fight off in a competition, and only the winner will be able to go. The other one gets to stay at home. This feels like it's basically setting up for whoever wins, then the loser will just join the other. Like, if you can't beat them, join them kind of deal. It kind of just feels like they're setting up for the fact that the Liella girls, whether they win or not, I don't think it's not necessarily that important. But whoever wins is the winner, they're better, and then the loser just joins them, and they form as 1 group and perform anyways. So I feel like I'm kind of the idea of, it's like, you can't beat them, join them kind of mentality. Who will win, I don't know, if it's going to be Liella or not. But that's at least what the kind of way it seems like they're setting it up for. So we go back to the room, and the girls are wondering, what would Kanon do in this situation? And Win's like, I know, let's do some espionage and snoop on her and figure out what she would do. So they look for the Liella girls, but they see that Kanon isn't actually here. Apparently, there's a plumbing issue, so she can't come. So the girls will then decide, well, let's just attack the other 2 girls and try to get them to join. So they try to figure out who should do that, and they're like, well, one of them has a sister there, so she should be the choice. So the girls then strap him with Shiki's devices and forces Natsumi to run over and go and talk to the 2 girls, trying to get them to join. So the 2 girls are like, what the heck are you doing here? But they already know. So then Natsumi starts her spiel about how saying, you 2 should join us and enjoy the light, and if you join us, we're going to win Love Live and all that stuff. It wasn't a very convincing argument, and they're saying, well, I guess Natsumi sucks at this. But the other girls then come out and try to help her. Since the girls performed together in Shanghai, they decided that it would be better if the girls all performed together. So Tomari says she disagrees with that fact. Her goal was to see whether her dream for her older sister would be true, that this will be able to bring her great joy. But to join together feels like that wouldn't be the best solution, as then they wouldn't compete against each other and up each other's level. And even Wien says that she believes that they're enemies, so they shouldn't join together. So the girls decided, you know what, we'll give up for now, but Kinako's the one who is the last to walk away, so it makes me think, is there something Kinako's going to do in the future? We'll have to see. But Tomari talks to Win saying, are you sure this is what you want to do? Of course, Win's like, heck yeah, they're my enemies. No, we can see there's potentially some ideas working in their mind, and will they potentially join? Ooh, spoilers, right? So we get to see Kano and what she was doing, fixing a sink. They had some plumbing issues. And then we have Wang walk in, and Kano's like, I'm sorry, I missed practice. We get to see Natsumi. She goes and tries to talk to Tomari, but Tomari's like, I'm busy doing homework. Oh, she's not doing her homework. She's staring at her jellyfish. So we get to see there's something working in their minds. We get to see that Wien was looking at the live that she had earlier, and she was gonna hide the fact that she was watching. But Kano has come to her room, which is her dad's room, and pick a translation book, I believe. And she uses this kind of excuse to talk to Wien, but then Wien stops her and was wondering, are you truly okay with the fact that we are going to compete against each other in terms of Liella and Liella? And Kano's like, you know what, let's have an opportunity to talk about this amongst everybody in Liella and have a sleepover. And Wien's like, I'm not against it or anything. So then we get a jump to the actual sleepover. Tomari comes over and they have her come in, and then she freaks out over the fact that she can't find volume 7 of a series of books, but it turns out Wien has it. I don't know what the point of this is. Comedic relief, I guess. And then we have takoyaki and a bunch of other foods they have together and then go eat. We don't have chisato here, which is interesting, but hey, they like takoyaki and it's all good. And then they're wearing these little outfits. Why? Because apparently she got it from Shanghai. No point, but I guess cute, I guess. And then they have some cafe au lait, just coffee and milk, and they're enjoying that, and they talk about the fact they'll have some sweet potatoes, and Tomari's like, ooh, that sounds really good. But Tomari's like, okay, so what the heck is the whole point of this? And they're trying to get to the discussion of, so you want us to join Liella, right? But Kano's like, that's not really what I'm here for. I wanted us to bond more and learn and come together more. And they got to see that from the Shanghai performance, is that they are able to perform better when they know more about each other. So they talk about that and learn more about each other. And we can see Wien burn her tongue multiple times. Kanon goes and asks, what's your favorite animal? Oh boy, I wonder what it could possibly be. Jellyfish? And yeah, of course it's jellyfish. It was pretty obvious if you didn't know before. But Wien's like, what? Jellyfish? Aren't they gross? And then Tomari gets really defensive about that and saying they're like the cutest animals ever. So we get to see a little bit of another side of Tomari. And Kanon's like, oh, I want to learn more about you guys and be besties and be great friends. And you get to see the two girls slowly warming up even more to Kanon. Then they decided to go out for a walk, and they get to see a big billboard here. And on that, we get to see that this is, of course, all in their minds, but they get to see themselves on those video boards. So Kanon talks to the girls and saying, I think it's time for you guys to really open up and let your feelings free, to get outside of all those problems and those worries that you have that's holding you back from becoming really big idols. And I thought this was really cool to see a bunch of the moments that we have seen, all their heartbreaks, their heartaches that they've had before, and what is holding them back. For example, we had Tomari. She didn't want her sister to cry anymore due to all the fails that she has, and she doesn't want her to pursue something that she might fail at. Of course, we get to see Wien. This was a scene after she lost, and of course she's really sad that she wasn't able to win Love Life, which means she was a failure. And of course now her goal is to defeat Liella. So I actually kind of like the scene. Of course visually it was really nice with all the lights, but the imagery, the symbolism they had was also very vividly nice to see. That we get to see that the girls want to grow and move past the problems that they had in front of them before. And now with that behind them, they can become the best of versions of themselves and face Liella. So then Kano and Chisato go with the headmistress and they discussed, do they officially want to compete and try for the spot? And they decided yes, they're going to fight off each other probably the next episode and have a battle. So then Tomari asked Wien, how did you feel about Kano when she first tried to put a group together? And of course the main answer was she felt she was a spy, but she was starting to see that, you know, maybe Kano isn't doing it for her own sake, but rather doing it for their sake. And she cares about what they feel and want them to get involved. And the fact that she's doing this, even though she can't be with Liella, is definitely something really nice for those two. So then Wien says that she has this new plan. She goes to Tomari and whispers in secret they're going to defeat Liella and then do something we don't know. We'll figure out next episode, I suppose. And then she then goes and tells Kano when she writes it a little bit later their secret plan. Kano was a little shocked at first, like what could this possibly be? But then she says it's a great idea. What's a great idea? No clue, they didn't tell us. But apparently they spent a lot of thought into this. They literally just came up with this plan like 20 seconds ago. But sure, we'll have to figure out what that means. But of course the girls are invigorated and they're ready to defeat Liella. So then the girls are ready. They go on for a little jog and they're going to defeat Liella. And then what? Well, the final scene that they showed together will probably give you a little insight. So, of course, the girls are at a shrine, and it's very common for shrines for people to write notes on what they want for their future, for good fortune stuff. It's one thing for Liella to become 11. So, their goal is to beat Liella, and then for Liella to become 11. So, their goal is to beat the rest of the girls, win the spot, and then have the rest of Liella join them, or they join Liella, and then they perform as 11 after that battle. At least that's what it seems like. So then we get to the preview for the next episode, episode 8, Yuigaoka versus Yuigaoka. So what happens in that episode? So let's go over a few of the scenes that we get to see. We get to see the Pillbug, the Kusoku Kumoshi, I believe. It definitely reminds me of what season 1, where the girls trying to bribe other girls with takoyaki. So are they going to try to bribe so that they can win against the Liella girls? Potentially, but of course that was shut down. We get to see the two girls potentially fighting for the sisters. We'll have to see about that. We have Wien and Mei tearing up about something. I don't know what that could possibly mean, but we'll see. And then last but not least, we get to see a little bit of the outfit that, of course, it looks like Kano's going to be wearing. I don't know how much you're going to draw from that, but at least it looks like we're pretty much going to get a song in there. I'm hoping to see 2 songs. We get to see Liella perform and then the Liella girls, at least for one last time. I'm assuming they're not going to join together because the whole idea was the fact that they're going to beat Liella and then join them. So I'm hoping potentially to see 2 songs perform. That would be really cool. And then we can have our own little discussion on which song was better and how we would rate and who would decide the victory for that and whatnot. But that's at least the hope. But at least it looks like Kano's going to be performing a song. So we'll hopefully get 2 songs. That's my hope. And I would like to see which we like better. And then of course we have that short. This one's singing voices echo. Nothing too important, but let's go over it anyways. We have Liella. They're going to have a picnic together. It's all 11 girls. Kinoko, she decided to bring deluxe sandwiches and they taste amazing. They gave it 3 stars out of 3 or something. And then we have Wien, she brings sweet potatoes. And of course, Tomari's like, oh my god, that's like amazing. It's super nutritious. Looks like she really likes her sweet potatoes. And then following that, we get to see Kano, and she has her guitar. And they're like, oh my god, you should go sing. And then Gineko's like, I want to sing with you, Kano senpai. And the girls are like, okay, let's make the song echo throughout the park. And they do that. Yeah, okay. So that was the short. So let's go back to the episode. So for this episode, we get to see the gears are turning to the point where the girls are going to compete in seemingly the next episode. We're going to have the Liella girls versus Liella or Tomakanote. And hopefully we get to see a competition happen. So it'll definitely, because of the Shanghai FES that they had in episode 6, it starting to get in the girls' minds of potentially we could perform together. And I guess I can see from the story point of how that could work and how that gets the girls potentially interested in performing with the rest of the girls, and how they're starting to think in their minds, maybe we can perform together and we'll be very good together because of that performance. The plot point that they, or at least how they put the story together and how they performed together, was tremendously stupid. Made no sense, no thought behind it. Just, hey, let's just all perform together, and no, idol magic is gonna make it so you guys know the song, the lyrics, choreography, and we shift our choreography for you guys, and that was really dumb. So it almost felt like they had this story elements here together, but they didn't know how to bridge it. They didn't have a good reason how they could have explained how they would perform with them at Shanghai FES, so they just went with a really dumb one, and we're just supposed to ignore it or something and forget about it. I don't know. That just is one of the silliest things I've ever seen from Love Live. Maybe on School Out Festival too, but it just doesn't make any sense. But past that, we get to see the fact that that festival they had together is starting to get in their minds that potentially we could perform together. And of course, that was always really the goal for Kano in many ways. But I mean, we know they're going to join together. That's no surprise. It's no secret. But it definitely looks like this is the episode that sets that thing up. And here we are. You know, we're going to be in 8 episodes in out of 12, where the girls are still separated. So it's going to be so little time for these girls are going to perform together. So, like, the fact that we're going to get the Liella with 11 members, it's going to be really short. Because, you know, if assuming episode 8 it's not when they actually join together, or maybe at the very end, but that just means episode 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 4 episodes. And of course, they need to probably have an episode for graduation, maybe up to 11 or 12. So the amount of time they're going to have together, it's going to be pretty small. It might be episode 9, it's going to be their first episode with them being together. And then episode 10 is probably That's Love Live. They will do one big performance with each other, potentially. They might do an encore, but it might just be like two songs or something. Who knows? But anyways, at least that's what I'm seeing, the way the direction is going. But of course, if you guys have any different ideas, I would love to hear that in the comments below. So let me know what you guys think about this episode in the comments below. How did you feel about this episode, and what are your predictions for the next episode? And of course, as always, I do have a poll link in the description below for you to participate in. I would love to see how you guys rank these girls out this episode, and I'll go over the results on Thursday. But I'm curious to see how that goes. And of course, so I'm curious to see how you guys feel about the girls in this moment, and where the girls rank from now. Will Cuckoo stay at the top? Probably not. It's no longer her focus episode, but we'll get to see how you guys feel about the Tomokanata girls, as they're getting more open to the idea of joining the rest of the girls, and you know, soon it's going to happen. Probably next episode, worst case scenario 2 episodes. So we'll have to see how that goes. And will Kinako get some love? I feel like I'm almost getting small signs of her doing something soon. I don't know if I'm looking too much into a few of the small scenes that I've seen, but potentially we might be getting something there. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. That's in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to catch you guys in another video soon.